Yo, what is up with you guys today? I hope your day is going well. So today, what I'm going to be talking about is, as I said before, I do occasional music fest reviews on here. And so one of the things I'm going to be talking about is Tomorrowland's New Year's event, 31/12/2020. So what's good about this event is they've actually improved it a lot more from the recent summer event they had. So it's a much more kind of engaging and pulling you in kind of event, which actually excites me. And if you're into EDM, I think it's definitely a great value. And these are some of the things we're going to be talking about today. So without further ado, come on, let's jump right in. Okay, so now that we're diving in, so I'll give you a quick little, background on Tomorrowland because they're basically a huge festival company, mostly in Europe, but they do crazy events. If you go out there, they have themed hotels, it's like Disneyland for adults, And also they have their own radio station. They do a lot of smaller events out there. Sadly, not so many over here, but they do have some occasional events that make it out here. In the past, though, they did have partner companies that did big events in the States and Brazil. So. One of the first things up though is the production. So if you watch the past event, it was actually pretty good. But the crowd was very, very Simsy. I'm not sure how many guys have played the game Sims, but it kind of had that Sims kind of character look to all the crowd last time. And the crowd reactions, all that kind of stuff. It was all kind of like, you could tell it was the first time they had created these digital words, which are digital. My stuttering. Explain these digital worlds, and how they were, and you can tell it was their first time because a lot of the cheering didn't match up. It wasn't as perfect. This time, I'm happy to say they fixed all that. So they've taken a lot of actual real clips from their actual parties and mixed it into the crowd, these digital crowds. So it actually, that effect and the fact that they've made the people look a lot less Simsy is that it looks a lot better. It really made me feel like I was watching a live event that was actually happening somewhere. I felt like I was watching someone live. That's really important in that kind of thing, right? If you pay for, especially you're paying for one of these events, whether it's, even though it is relatively affordable, which I'll get to in a minute, you want it to feel real. You want it to create that excitement, right? And so that is something it definitely did. It really did draw you in to feel like you were watching something real. Like the production level was pretty crazy. So the Melodia stage, for example, was like this kind of reminded me of the great thing. I'm probably saying this wrong, but it was like the old, kind of Nordic legends where they had this great tree that was kind of like the great mother of all their creation kind of thing. And it totally reminded me of that. It also kind of reminded me of the Avatar tree. So I guess you could throw it either way, depending what you're more into. But it was a pretty amazing thing. It was really science fiction. Kind of put you in this kind of elf kind of world, and I was feeling that. I love what they do with that kind of stuff. The Plan Naxos stage, for example, they had like sharks swimming everywhere. It was really cool. And all the stages, had these kind of really cool effects, and these little touches everywhere. Like if you're looking around the stages, there was so much to look at, and it made this festival really enjoyable. And these are things that were definitely missing in the last one. Like the last one, it was good. They had good stages, and they had based them around real stages, just like these ones are based around real stages. But the fact is that this one, they've really taken advantage of the CGI graphics a lot more, and it just made that experience so much better as me, a fan, participating during New Year's. And this year it was only one day, right? So unlike the previous one, right? This is a 3-day event. It was a 2-day event versus this 1-day event, and I think this made a lot more sense for them economically, right? So so you're basically paying. The price was pretty much the same as last one, but you're getting, and so you're definitely getting less, I would say, value for your money, right? So if we're jumping to the value topic for a second, I guess I'm jumping around a little bit. I do apologize, guys. But when you look at that 1 day versus 2, and you're pretty much paying the same thing as last time, I think that made a lot more sense. It made a lot more of it made the value, because they didn't make much money on the previous one they made. And so I feel this one, the artists are getting paid, and it's still not that expensive. You can have this stream in your house for it was like $20, $25, 25 euros. So but so you pay, I guess, a little extra depending on the exchange rate. But that's not bad. You're getting top of the line performances, right? And these performances this year, I gotta admit, they were a lot better than last time. I felt last time, a lot of the artists that were up there, they did a really good job, but they didn't really connect the same way with the audience. That I felt like they knew it was a digital stage and they were trying, but I feel like this time they had gotten a lot better at it. The artists, maybe it's because they've been doing their own streams everywhere. All of our YouTube, you have like 10 streams every weekend, right? So I've really seen this progression of the artists. They've gotten much better of kind of playing the part that they're actually there with you through the screen. And you could see that they were playing off the stage better. There were some, some of the guys were taking pictures of the crowd, the quote unquote crowd. And those things actually made me feel like I was watching like a real event, and it really got me excited. Now I admit, this year I watched it a little different because I was a little wasted. Of course, it was New Year's night. It was a fun night, but so I watched a little more. I kind of broke up in order to see the whole thing to different days. Like for example, they had this kind of like memory quiz game with BMW, and I didn't do that game to almost like the following Monday, right? So, I did pay for the package, or I get to kind of basically rewatch everything and kind of relive it for about 2 weeks. I feel like for $20, that's a great value because these are great artists, great performances. They even had Snoop Dogg. I honestly did not know he DJ'd until he got up there. He was not doing EDM. He's not like Shaq or anything, which actually has like a passion for EDM DJing. He was doing hip hop stuff, but it was a good set. I watched it. It was a great set. Snoop Dogg is Snoop Dogg. It was just kind of funny that he was in there in the first place. But hey, something fun. Now, one of the things I would say is that the extras, I feel like they were missing some of that this year. Now, yes, production was a lot better, right? Performances, work with the camera is a lot better, so it does bring you in a lot more, and that is the main part of the festival, right? So I don't want to put the extras as a big negative because it's not. They had that memory game and maybe a couple things I missed. But it wasn't like before where they had interviews you could go jump into and all that kind of stuff, and you could kind of bounce around the park and do all these things, right? Now they kind of moved a lot of that into like an app. They were using it was like the NAOZ app, and basically that app had some of that experience in there, so I guess they kind of moved it over there. You could chat also around the world during the festival as long as you were logged in, so that was cool. If you're one of those kind of people that wanted to be chatting with Tomorrowland people all over the place, you could do that, kind of making it more of a community event. And like I said, it was pretty overall exciting. If you like EDM and you like the best possible experience at home, this was definitely the best experience you could probably have. Now, not to knock some of these other festivals, EDC and some of these DJs online have really stepped up their online game. But at Tomorrowland, of course, they're paying for a whole digital CGI experience, so it just looks like you're inside a world of Avatar in a lot of ways, or some fantasy world. And so you definitely get drawn in a little more versus just feel like you're just watching a live stream. So, overall, would I recommend that you try it in the future? I think you should. This is something that you probably, if you're into festivals and you like parties, there's probably gonna be another one of these events, online events, before time comes. You should I would totally recommend you paying it. Now, it's up to you if you want to buy the bigger packages. Just like last time, right? You could pay as low as 20 euros, right? So, or you could pay as high as I think it was like about $150 in the US. And so it's just depending on what you want to do. And they even had gift packages because it was kind of like a holiday season thing where you could send someone a golden ticket to kind of watch the festival. I thought that was really cool, actually. It wasn't just a bracelet thing they did last time. Sending people like kind of that chocolate factory golden ticket idea. Brilliant, Tomorrowland. Brilliant, right? And I think if I had gotten that for a friend, they would have probably just been like, wow, if they were. But most of my friends that I knew that were into that festival were buying it themselves, so I didn't really have to. I didn't have an option to do it. I actually wish I kind of sent it to myself because I really like the way that ticket looked. But hey, that would have been kind of silly. Now, one thing I will say is my only criticism of this event is that there was a little bit of confusing messaging on the site. So Tomorrowland, if you're listening, because I basically ordered a basic package which sent me a poster and some bracelets, right? But when I ordered it, it said for European shipment only. But on the very next page, they said some stuff may arrive late if you're not in Europe. So I would just recommend Tomorrowland. I would have spent more if I was for sure I was gonna get it. I just chanced that because I wanted some souvenirs from the event. But because you gave me that kind of Europe only message there, it kind of scared me away from spending more. So maybe in the future, just kind of be more transparent and just say, hey, customers, put the message. If you're not in Europe, anything you order may arrive late, and then that way I can make a better educated buying decision. But what do you guys think? Did any of you guys out there attend the event? Did you guys have a great New Year's? And this was one of the things that kind of made a highlight of to start off your year. For me, it definitely put me in a good mood. Cause like I said, not only did I have a party on that night, but I've been driving around and playing it in my car. Whenever I get bored of the house, I'll put on a set. It's a great overall experience. But I definitely want to hear your experiences if you guys have done it as well. and and hear what you guys have to say. I mean, let's jump in the comments, let's talk about it, let's just share some festival stories, and if it was good or bad, let me hear about it. Did you have a crazy night? Did you drink too much that night? I mean, did you just have a great time with some close friends? I mean, and did Tomorrowland really help complete that experience? I want to hear about it. And in conclusion though, if you like these kind of store reviews, and of course my normal tech reviews as well, please like and subscribe. I would love to have you as part of my YouTube family. I'm still on here working hard. I mean, I love making these videos, and it's just a joy for me. And I'm hoping I'm helping you guys buying decisions, and also maybe sharing some memories with you. But like I always say, until next time, if you see me at the bar or a club, and let's have a drink together, get to know each other. Until then, bye.